Lange is the chair of the European Parliament's International Trade Committee. He's been the standing rapporteur for the EU-US trade since 2014. A good person for us to be speaking to right now. Welcome to the show. So we did see, of course, China breaking a public holiday just a couple of hours ago to retaliate with that 34% tariff, exactly the same levied on them by the United States. What are the chances of the EU doing exactly the same?
Well, thanks a lot for the invitation, and we are, of course, looking quite intensively to the tariffs set by President Trump. For us, they are unjustified because we have clear rules where we both working with, and in average, the tariffs between European Union and United States are 5%. And put it the volume of trade on, it's only 2% because a lot of products, around about 70%, are tariff-free. So therefore, we are really not happy about this decision, and we are analyzing the effect quite closely. First, we look to the illegal tariffs on steel, which are in office since the 12th of March, and we are preparing retaliation list of products which will come into force on the 14th of April. On the decision from Wednesday, I guess we will try first to talk to each other, to negotiate before getting some countermeasures, and I guess this would be the appropriate way and not doing this similar to the Chinese one.
You mentioned that you're deliberating on steel and aluminium. Given the speed of China's response, is there a concern here that the EU could risk getting left behind in what is rapidly becoming a fast-moving global trade war? Do you have any concerns about the speed with which you need to respond?
Of course, tariffs and escalation is not good for the economy. And President Trump named it the day of liberalization. I would say it's a day of inflation because the price are really increased, and we saw it just before. And this is, of course, a danger. And we want really to avoid this. But as normal, it takes two for tango, and we want to have a negotiation process. And this was so far not possible. We are trying, we are discussing several elements where we could negotiate, but at the moment there is no answer from the United States.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about what the response is that you are preparing and the way in which you're doing it? There's been a lot of talk that the EU as a bloc are going to focus on the service industry when targeting the US. Can you give us more detail on that?
Of course, I will not say everything here, that's for sure, because it's also part of the negotiation process. But first, we will have a list on countermeasures, retaliation tariffs for the steel. This list is more or less ready. We have a lot of steel products on, we have some agriculture products on, some textile products on, so that the damage we are faced with are more or less on an equal level. So this is ready. And then, as I mentioned, we will analyze the effect on this 20%. And of course, we will creating a second list. If there are services on, I have no clue, but legally it's possible. We have our defensive legislation, the so-called enforcement legislation, where we could really put goods and services on our countermeasures. But I would not put it on the first point of such a list, because we want to de-escalate and not escalate. But at the end of the day, it's totally clear that the interest of US companies in the European market in services is quite big. And this, I guess, everybody should have in mind. And by the way, there is also a trade surplus in services from around about 100 billion euro.
Yes, and we will wait to see if those negotiations ahead of any moves bear fruit for you. But for now, Bernd Lange, we really appreciate you joining us, giving us your thoughts on this Unprecedented moment. Thank you.